which is you don't know what you don't know. Like, people didn't know there was an EFC and that you needed to know an EFC 4 years in advance versus the year before.
Right.
So that's, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know as far as that you can go to a private school for cheaper than the state school until I show them the formulas,
right.
the need-based formulas, and what schools have need-based aid, like you said, 100%, and some only meet 50%. Those things parents don't even know it exists. That's okay. But we have to accept that in the world of universe, there's a lot more things that we just don't know even exists out there. And that's the stuff that I want to make sure parents know, that just because you go out to someone and you tell them, what do you think about this advice, or someone talks about college planning and their strategies, they may just not know it exists. So they're going to tell you what they know and the resources that's been given to them. So it's not their fault that they're utilizing the resources that they've been given. It's just that they don't know what they don't know.
Right, and also the rules change. From year to year, there could be a big shift that could change everything, and they didn't catch that update.
Sure.
So,
like, I feel comfortable using an accountant. Mm-hmm. The reason why I hire an accountant, I don't walk into the IRS office to do my taxes. They can do it for free. It's the same concept of get your FAFSA done for free.
right.
But I'm not going to walk into the IRS office and say, hey, can you do my taxes? Obviously, I'm going to hire an accountant that's it's an expert, that's a CPA, that's certified, that has years of experience, number one, being licensed and working with clients, because I know that knowledge, I'm borrowing that credibility and saying, hey, do this for me because I'm not good at this, and by me paying you a fee, I'm actually making an investment that you're going to save me more money on taxes than if I just saved that money and just bought TurboTax and just did it for $50. There's a time and place for an accountant.
But if you were only doing a 1040 EZ form, you don't need someone. So
that's a good point.
That's a matter of just, if you have complications, you need help. If it's a straightforward thing, then you can do it yourself.
Yeah.
And just go into a workshop or something and be enough. If it's getting complicated, that's where you get a better return on your investment if you ask for help.
Yeah, we had a family recently come in. They make $60,000 a year. They're a business owner, and their AGI was $64,000, and they're a class of 14 starting next year. But they have about $1.2 million when the business was doing well in mutual funds and all of these accounts. Mm-hmm. Well, even though the income is almost close to like Pell Grant, Cal Grant, their assets are over the protection allowance. So they invested in my program, paid a couple $1,000s, because they wanted to make sure that even though their income is low now, that they can probably fill out the forms, they wanted to make sure all their assets are positioned the right way. So that way, when it's time to submit their financial aid form, just by 1 or 2 or 3 little changes that I'm going to make, whether it's spending 5 hours or 20 hours helping them, to them they didn't care how many hours I spend. All they cared about was the results. Can you get me more financial aid than me doing it on my own?
Right.
I go, that's a great question to ask, because it may take me 2 minutes to fix that problem, or it may take me 10 hours. I'm still going to charge the same amount because it's what we charge. But it's the results that the families are getting is what they care about. They don't care if it took me 2 minutes to solve that problem that they didn't know. So what's easy for me is not easy for a client because they don't do it every day. To me, because I've been doing this so long, I can look at a FAFSA or a client's finances and go, here are the icebergs that you don't see on a shoreline. If you're on a cruise line and you see ahead and you're steering and you're the captain and you're looking in the shorelines looking for, icebergs, you can't see that. You can see rocks, or maybe you can see places that you got to avoid so you don't crash the cruise line, but what you don't see is the iceberg underneath. So what I do is I go underneath and go, okay, we need to steer away because you may see that it's clear here, but there may be an iceberg down there that you're going to hit and you may sink the ship. So that's where I tell families that that's where my experience is I know the stuff behind the stuff because of 2,200 families that I've personally handheld through this process, and that's usually the difference.
Right.